Sugar Sullivan. So throughout the interview, if you have any questions for Sugar, please put them in the chat and I will compile them for the Q&A later on. And now I think we're ready to get started, and I'm going to turn it over to our host, Mike McDermott.
Just one quick note before we do, we are planning on recording tonight's session. So if you do not want to be in the recording, feel free to turn your video off. But otherwise, we hope to make this recording accessible to everybody after the fact. Thanks so much for joining us tonight.
All right, welcome everyone to Jazz Tack's second living legend Lindy Hopper interview. First off, Sugar, can you unmute your mic?
Unmute the mic.
There you are, Sugar.
I see Ramona. Ramona! Ah, from Australia. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of people in, and I've seen some streams do this before, but I recognize a lot of Jazz Tack people, but anyone joining us from anywhere other than the Philadelphia, Delaware region, if you wouldn't mind just putting in the chat where you're from, just so that we can see exactly who's with us tonight. So while everyone's doing that, without further ado, I would just like to give a short introduction to our star of the show tonight. So Sugar Sullivan, born in Harlem and third generation Lindy Hopper. She was instructed at tap dancing at the age of 7, and by the age of 9 was already performing. She fell in love with Lindy Hop in 1940.
Excuse me, Michael, I started tapping at 4.
Don't blame, hey, I'm getting all this information from a previous interview, so don't blame me, blame Ryan Swift.
4 years old, 4 years old I started.
4 years old, all right.
Yeah.
So, started tap dancing at 4 years old. Under Buster Brown, started performing at the age of 9 and discovered Lindy Hop at the age of 14. And by 1955, she was already a world champion for the famous Harvest Moonball. Since that day, she's been a professional Lindy Hopper, first off touring with Sonny Allen and the Rockettes for 15 years with her traveling partner Barbara Billups, and even to this day still continues to travel around the world with Barbara, giving interviews, performing, and still teaching Lindy Hop today. So without further ado, everyone unmute for 1 second and just give a hello and round of applause for Miss Sugar Sullivan.
Yay! Yay, Sugar!
Thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone. I see another Sullivan. I see a name say Macy Sullivan. Okay, hi, Macy Sullivan.
So, of course, Sugar, I have some notes in front of me, but if any of it's incorrect, because it's about you, by all means, please correct me.
Well, I will do.
So, I guess just starting off.
My granddaughter, I have a granddaughter named Nicole. Hi, Nicole. I see Nicole. Okay.
All right, perfect. So, I guess just starting off, based off of what you just corrected me on. So, you started tap dancing at the age of 4, right?
Right, yes.
And then was it you started taking classes, or you started being instructed by Buster Brown at 7?
I started at a dancing school. My mother was trying to get me into a dancing school, and she started when I was 3, and she was able to get me into one that would take me at 4 years old, yes.
Awesome. And so Buster Brown, he was a famous tap dancer, and he was a good friend of your mom's because at the time he was running away from the mafia where he was from.
Yes.
And so he came to your...
There was 3 tap dancers, and their names were the 3 Speed Kings, and they came out of Cleveland, Ohio, and they were at a club, and the only way they could get away from the club was to like sneak out of town one night after they got off from work, because they wouldn't let them go. They liked them, and when they liked them, they would keep you until they decided for you to leave. So they wanted to come to New York, and so they just had to sneak away one night from the club, you know. And that's how they came to New York.
And so then once you started taking tap lessons, he was staying with you guys. So every time that you would come home from tap class, he would give you another tap lesson?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I would come home and they would ask me, "Oh, Sugar, what'd you learn today?" You know, and I show them, you know, and he says, "Well, what about this?" And they would show me another variation of the step that I had learned in dancing school, but it was a little more advanced. So every year when we had our concerts, our instructors would give us a song, and they say, "Well, and you'll learn a routine to go with this song." So when I came home and they would ask me, "We hear you have a concert coming up," and I said, "Yes." So they said, "Well, what's the name of the song?" I told them the name of the song, and he says, "Okay." So when I come home with the first couple of steps, you know, and they want to see it, and he says, "Well, why don't we try this instead for that particular song?" So I would learn a routine in dancing school for the concert, and I would learn a routine at home. And then the night of the concert, I would surprise my instructor with the routine from the Three Speed Kings. Yeah. So after that happened, like 2 years, the third year, she just said, "Here's your song. I'm looking forward to seeing what your routine looks like." That's how that went. And then she put me in with the 18, 19-year-olds class after that. Yeah, when I got to
And
the,
how old were you?
yeah. I was maybe like maybe 10 by then. Yeah, 9,
Wow.
10, yeah. Yes,
And
I was,
so by the age of 9 or 10, said you were already performing. What does that mean? Like, what were you
well,
doing?
my grandmother belonged to a lot of social clubs, and they would have little teas and little parties on Sunday afternoon, things like that. And so they would hire me to do entertainment. So I would put on my little dance costumes and I'd do a tap number, you know, and they would pay me. So that's how I started. My first gigs was tap dancing at my grandmother's club. Yes. Yeah, I'll go to like the American Legion and the Eastern Star, you know, with the Maces, that type of thing. She was connected with all those things, so that's where I would do my little numbers. Yeah.
Awesome. And it was said that you used the money to go to the movies a lot. And I
Yeah.
think that's how you discovered Lindy Hop at first, right?
Yes, it was. Yes, I loved the movies, and I would go on Saturdays, Sunday afternoons, and that's how I discovered Lindy Hop because I saw Hells a Poppin', and I saw these dancers. And I wonder what is that dance? Because by then I was like 14 and I needed a change, you know. My tap dance, I got tired of tap dancing. I wasn't doing that much of it then around that age. So I said, this is it, you know, I've got to learn that dance. So my boyfriend and I, we would go to the movies and I told him, you got to see this dance and we got to learn this. So he was game. So that's what we would do. We would go and sit in the movie all day just to see the dance sequence of the movie Hell's a Poppin', and then we would go to Central Park and find us a secluded spot on the grass and try to figure out what they were doing on the screen, and we kind of got a little of it together. Yeah.
So I just want to go over that just one more time so that everyone understands. So, you know, nowadays when we see a clip or a move that we see on YouTube, it's usually just like maybe like a 2-minute, maybe 30-second clip. But you would go in and watch Hell's a Poppin', the entire film, which I looked up is an hour and 24 minutes just for that one 5-minute scene. And if you missed it, you had to wait till the end of the movie and for it to start over again
Well,
to catch up.
we would sit there as long as we could because at that time they had a children's section which we had to sit in, and there was a matron that was on work there. So when she got off from work, then we had to leave the theater. If you wasn't with an adult, you had no children that could be in the theater after the matron got off from work. So we would stay as long as we could to see that sequence over and over again, to try to remember something, you know. We'd pick out maybe a couple of steps and say, well, we're going to try those today, you know. And then the next day we would do the same thing as long as the movie was running. Yeah. And I told my mother what we were doing, so she supported me in that too.
Awesome. And just once again, just to really highlight just how ridiculous that is, that over and over again means an hour and 24 minutes after an hour and 24 minutes
Hey.
after an hour and 24 minutes.
Oh yes, oh yes, yes. I did that with that movie and A Day at the Races, because they were in the Day at the Races also, to see that sequence of it. Yes, I did that for that too. Yeah.
And so then you would take this. So you would take this to Central Park.
You know, I love musicals. You know, I would go see any movies that like Stormy Weather. You know, I saw over and over again to see the Nicholas Brothers. You know, because tap was my first love, so I would do that. I loved musicals. Yeah.
And so you would take those dance routines that you saw and take them to Central Park to try and practice?
Try to pick out a step, try to do something that we saw them do. Yes, yeah.
All right, perfect. And then you entered into the Harvest Moon Ball for the first time soon after that, correct?
Well, first we entered into a contest they had in Central Park to promote a movie that was being made by Disney, and it was called Make Mine Music. And it was about, in the movie, there was a bunch of teenagers that hung out in a soda fountain, and they would dance around the jukebox. So that's what they were promoting in this contest. The contest was held in Central Park, and we happened to win first prize. So that's how we first started. That was the first time that we won a prize in Lindy Hop. And there were a lady came up to us and said that we were good enough to be in the Harvest Moon Ball, and we asked her what was that, and she explained that it was a contest that was held every year in Madison Square Garden by the Daily News. And we said, well, how could we get in that contest? So she told us, she said, go to the Daily News building down on 42nd Street and sign up. So that's what we did. We went down there, and they told us that, asked us where we live, and we said Harlem. So they said, well, you've missed the preliminaries for Harlem for this year, but you can sign up and dance at Roseland Ballroom. And if you qualify, then you'll be able to dance at Madison Square Garden in September. So that's what we did. We went to Roseland Ballroom, and we were a little nervous because it was an all-white ballroom at that time, but we went and entered the contest anyway. And we danced the night of the contest, and we came in second, but it was never recorded anywhere. We've never been able to find it recorded anywhere. But that night, they told us that we came and we won second prize. We won second prize that night. So, and then when I got to Madison Square Garden, and we saw these other dancers from Savoy Ballroom, oh no, we said, that's what we have to learn, because Roseland's music was so much slower, and we liked that upbeat that they were doing from the Savoy. So that's what we did. We said, well, we have to go to Savoy and learn the Lindy Hop. Yes.
So that was the first time you saw the Harlem dancers. Was
really
at the Harvest Moon
live. Yes. So
wow.
live. Yeah.
Just to go back just for that night, can you kind of explain to us what it's like for a 14-year-old to dance and perform in the middle of Madison Square Garden?
Oh my gosh, I think it's like 55,000 people or something in there, something like that. And it was overwhelming. It really was. And when they announced the Lindy Hoppers, and what we do is we come out and we march around the stage, and the people was just hollering and screaming and clapping, you know, and it really made you feel good to know that you were going to dance in front of these people. So it was really great. That was a prize in itself, you know, just being there and seeing all these people hollering and screaming and clapping for us. Yeah, that was great.
That's awesome. And so then after that, did you seek out the Harlem dancers?
Well, I tried to. I went up to the Savoy Ballroom at 16. And when I got to the door, the bouncer asked me where was my mother. I said, she's home. He said, well, you're not coming in here. So I says, why not? He says, you're not old enough. I said, how old do I have to be? And he said, you have to be 18 years old. So I says, okay. So I said, can I just go upstairs and look? I won't get on the dance floor. He said, no, you cannot come in. It's against the law. So I went back home and came back when I was 18. That's what I did.
And
With my
I
birth
think,
certificate.
thank you.
I didn't want to be any questions asked.
Awesome. So what'd you do for those 2 years in between when you couldn't get to the Savoy?
Well, I any musicals that was showing in the movies I went to see, you know, and my partner and I kept working on what we had learned, what we had kind of put together, and trying to add more steps to it, you know, and just, you know, wait it out. What else could I do, you know? Yeah. That's all
So
I
then after 2 years of waiting it out, you finally made it, birth certificate in hand.
Oh, yes.
What was it like going to Savoy Ballroom for the first time?
But once in a while, they used to have like a teenage afternoon on a Saturday. And so we would go up, it would be at the Savoy, and it'd be Saturday afternoon. And we would go up there, and there would be dancing up there, you know. But they were like teenagers, you know, people our age, so that was good, you know. And we would see a little bit, you know, of dancing. Yeah.
But so at 18, this was the first time you were fully fledged,
Oh, yeah.
able to see one of the famous big nights at the
Oh,
Savoy.
yeah. I went up there and I didn't stop until 1958. Yes.
Can you just paint us a picture of what it was like dancing the Savoy?
It was magical. It really was, because the ballroom was a block long, and great big dance floor, and it was a beautiful dance floor. And there was two bands always playing. There was two band. The bandstand was set up for two bands that could sit there at the same time, which means like 25-piece bands, and the music was continuous. The music would play, and when the band was ready to break, the next band would come on and join in with the song that the first band was playing. And then the first band would leave the stage, and the other band would continue, finish the song out, and then go to the next song. So the music was continuous. It was like from 10 till 3 o'clock in the morning, and you didn't want to even go to the bathroom. You know, you ran in the bathroom, and the matron would say, hurry up, the band has changed, or the song has stopped, and you know, and they playing another song, and we hurry up, run in the bathroom, and then hurry up, wash our hands and get out, you know, and go back to the dance floor. We didn't even want to stop for anything. We just wanted to continue to dance all night, every song.
Awesome. What were the floors like? Like, I know back in the day, no one really taught the Lindy Hop. So what could you see on the dance floor? Like, what were the different stylings that you saw going on?
Well, you stood around on the sides and watched, you know, to try to catch different things, you know, and the girls would talk to me, the guys would talk to me, you know, and then this is you know, is this your first time here? Oh yeah, you know, yes, I want to learn. Do you want to learn? Yes, I want to learn. And then they would tell you that, you know, you can come up in the afternoon, and we're up in the afternoon helping people that want to learn, you know, the steps that's new here. And so that's what I started to do. I would go up in the afternoon, and the dancers would be, some of them would come up there and they would help us out. They would show us steps, you know. It wasn't like a class. They would just show you steps, you know. So you would try to learn whatever steps they show. They show it to you 2 or 3 times, and they say, you know, work on that, you know, and they go talk to somebody else, one of those things, you know. So it wasn't like a class.
Okay. And so you kind of just had to pick up your own style?
Yes, you did. You really did, yeah. And you'd figure out your own style. Plus, you would try to learn like the things that certain steps that everybody would learn. You know, there was certain steps that like everybody would be doing, the same steps. Like the things that I teach now, it's called the Savoy stops. There was stops 1 and stops 2, and well, of course, the Savoy twist that the girls do, those things that I had to learn, those things, yeah.
Okay. So off of that, what would you say is the Sugar Sullivan style of dance?
What would I say is the Sugar Sullivan style of dance? The Savoy Lindy. That's all I could call it. I could say it's Savoy Lindy, yeah.
I know we talked about this the other day.
What would you say
but,
it is, Ramona? Ramona, what would you say my style of dancing is?
You're asking? All class. So classy and so, what's that? Beautiful.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Good.
Awesome. And just going over what you just said, the Savoy Lindy, there's a lot of questions nowadays. And I know we talked about this yesterday, but I just want to reiterate it. A lot of people are concerned about making sure they're keeping this dance authentic and that they're dancing authentically. And so you saying that it's the Savoy style, a lot of people maybe like freak out, be like, what's a Savoy style? I want to do the Savoy style. That sounds like the right style. What would you say would be kind of the...
Well, I told you that there was right style, okay? Everybody has their own style, The Swedish dancers have their style. The ones from UK, they have their style. The Koreans have their style, but it's all similar, and it's all the Lindy, really. It's all the Lindy, There's certain people that definitely does Savoy style. Now there's the dancers from Sweden, the Hot Shots, they do Savoy style. The Jiving Lindy Hoppers from the UK, they do Savoy style. Certain dancers really got the style of it, but everybody's doing Lindy Hop. So it doesn't matter because like they say, you have East Coast, now you have West Coast, you have Chicago. I think Detroit, they have a different style of Lindy, As long as they're doing Lindy, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what style it is, as long as it's Lindy Hop. It's everybody's doing Lindy Hop all over the world, and that's the important part of it.
Okay, then I guess I'll ask you this: how do you know that you're dancing the Lindy Hop, or what does it mean to dance a Lindy Hop?
Well, if you're dancing to swing music, what else is there to do but Lindy Hop? What else can you do to swing music? That's what they did. That's how they came out with this dance to go with this music that the bands was playing in the Savoy. They started playing in the late 30s, started playing this different type of music because everything was Charleston and Shag. They was doing it that time. And then the band started playing this other music, this swing type of music. So the dancers that went to Savoy then, they had to find a dance, and they came up with this dance, these steps to this swing music. And that's how Lindy Hop was born. It was a group of young Black teenagers in Harlem at the Savoy Ballroom, which was Frankie and Norma and Esther Washington and Blue Outlaw and Candy Carter, all these dancers. They were the ones that came up and with these steps to go to this new music that the bands came in playing. And that's how Lindy Hop was born.
Cool. So going back to your time with the Harvest Moon Ball, so you first competed in 1944?
Right, yes.
And in 1955 is when you got the first place victory. Did you compete every year in between?
Every year except the years that I was carrying my babies, which was, I think, let's see, I would say 49. I don't think I think I danced in 49, but I was pregnant in 49, and nobody knew it until the contest was in September, and November, this big thing popped out on me, and everybody knew I was pregnant. So I couldn't go into the Savoy. They wouldn't let me in the Savoy. They wouldn't let us in. They said they didn't want us to have an accident or anything. And so when I went up there on Thanksgiving night, they said, "Oh no, you're not going upstairs. You're pregnant." I said, "I know. I've been this way for some months, but they didn't know it. The bouncers didn't even know it. So then once that I was showing, I couldn't go in until after my baby was born. So I danced. I didn't dance danced that year, but I didn't dance. I danced the next year. I didn't dance. My son was born in 52. My son was born in 52, so I didn't dance in 52. But 50, well, you were born in January. My daughter was born in January. So the contest was until September, so I danced in 50. I danced in 50.
You didn't dance in 49.
And I may not have danced in 49, but I'm not sure about that. I'm really not sure. I might have danced in 49. I don't know.
We'll give you the benefit of the doubt and say you danced in 49. I don't think anyone here is going to argue against you.
So all the other years I danced. All the other years they were, I was trying out different partners, trying to find that one to win with. And it ended up being my husband when he started dancing with me. Because I had like, 3-4 partners before him, and we didn't win anything. And then when I started dancing with my husband, we won 3rd place. And the next year we won 2nd place. And the year after that, we tied for 3rd and we didn't get it. We came in 4th. And then in 55 was the year that we won 1st place.
Awesome. And so that 11-year journey to 1st place, what kind of was your mentality when it came to practicing or training or trying to be the best in the world? How did you go about it as a dancer?
Well, we would go up to the Savoy every day, say maybe around 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, and we stay maybe till 3 o'clock, and we would practice our routines, different couples would be up there. They would all be practicing their routines. And then we would go home and come back that night to dance from 9 to 3. And that went on every day.
So the only thing I can see being similar to that, if anyone has been to Lindy Focus or any other major dance weekend where there's dancing all day, we usually do that for a week. Sugar, you did that for 11 years. But obviously
it seemed like more.
But obviously it paid off in the end, because in 1955, you and your husband were world champions. Can you tell us just what that was like after this 11-year journey, finally being on top of the world?
It was great. It was great. But then we missed participating in the contest, because once you won, you couldn't enter anymore. So we would just go up to Savoy and help everybody else, help the ones that were trying to win, that's what we would do. And it wasn't too long after that, a couple of years after that was when I started dancing with Sonny Allen, because Sonny Allen won 1st place in 1958. And he said he wanted to put together, he spoke to me and he says, I want to put together a dance review. And I would like for you to be in the review. And he says, we'll learn we'll do all kind of different dances. We won't just do Lindy Hop. So I says, well, is it gonna make me any money? He said, yeah, we'll be making money. We won't be doing it for free. I said, okay, I'll try it. So he wanted 8 girls. He wanted to train 8 girls. And so we asked different ladies, and we got our 8 girls. And we started rehearsing. And we would practice for like 8 hours. No, we practiced for 8 months straight. That's what we practiced for, because we learned, him and I was the only ones that did tap. But we did Latin, we did African, we did modern jazz, and we did Lindy Hop. So that's what the girls were learning. We were learning for those 8 months, and we would practice 10 hours a day. You know, our families thought we were crazy until they came to see our first performance. Then they understood what we were doing. And we opened in Small's Paradise in Harlem. And with 8 girls. And I had designed all these beautiful costumes and made these beautiful costumes. And we were a Broadway show, believe me. Because I went to the library and I researched costumes from the years before for all different kind of musicals and things. And I put together these fabulous costumes that had beads and plumes and rhinestones. And we were just gorgeous. We were gorgeous. We really were. And we opened in Small's Paradise. And Sonny he had rented some, he rented like, he bought tuxedos, he had tails, and then he rented these jackets, these brocade jackets to match all of our costumes for each one of our numbers. And we opened up in Smalls. It was something to see. It really was. And all our families came and they saw what we had been practicing for all those 8 months. And it really was a beautiful show. And we were only supposed to work there maybe a couple of weeks, but we stayed there and we stayed at Smalls something like 3 months. And then Wilt Chamberlain, he was the owner at that time. And then he said, you all need to be down on Broadway, you know. And then Sonny started booking gigs for us, and we left Small's Paradise and we started traveling.
Okay. I just want to backtrack just a little bit, just because of what comment you made, how you said after you won the Harvest Moon Ball, you couldn't compete anymore. And I believe it's because you said in a previous interview, because once you won, you were considered and were officially professional dancers.
Right. The night that you won, you signed professional contracts for professional gigs. So you were considered a professional dancer after that, once you won first place.
And you won a spot to perform on the Ed Sullivan show, correct?
Yes. Well, everyone did Ed Sullivan show that won first place. All the different categories that won first place, you did Ed Sullivan. And then you signed contracts for different nightclubs. They had the Latin Quarter was open at that time. And you did what's the theater downtown? Oh my gosh. Oh, I can't think of the name of it. I'm losing my names. I can't think of the name of the theater, Sherry, where the dancers be in the parade every year. Oh, she's on the phone. Oh, I can't think of the name of it.
We'll get back to it.
Okay, they'll tell me. I'll think of it.
Yeah, we'll get back to it later.
But you signed contracts like for these different places, and so you were doing professional work after that, you know. And it was up to you to find your gigs after you worked out all the contracts that you signed. You know, it was up to you to find your own work. So Sonny started going down to the agents downtown and booking work for us. And he came back and when the first time he told us, he says, well, we're going out of town and we're going to be gone for a couple of months. Because he didn't book no one-night gigs. We went and we went into to nightclubs and we stayed 2-3 weeks and that type of thing. And then we moved on to another one in another city. You know, we worked in Boston. We worked all over Canada. We went so many different places in Canada, in Quebec and in Toronto, and even little towns in Canada where they had never even seen black entertainers, you know. So that's what we did after that, and we did that maybe straight for maybe 13 to 15 years. But it was not 8 girls; it was only 4 girls. He couldn't book us anymore with the 8 girls, so it came down to just 4 girls and Sonny Allen, and then we carried a 5-piece band. We had our own band, and Sonny collaborated with the band, and they wrote the music. So we had our own, they call them charts. We had our own charts for our dance numbers. We were very professional. And I was steady designing costumes, and I taught the girls how to sew. So the girls were sewing their costumes. I would design them and cut them out and tell them what to do. And we was always changing. We always changed our costumes. We had beautiful costumes.
Going off of that, during this time, you worked with Calloway at some point, correct?
That was after Sonny Allen and the Rockets broke up.
Oh,
That was not until 1980 when I worked with Calloway. I went on tour with Calloway, and the gig, I don't even remember who gave me the gig, but I was asked to put together. It was 4 of us, so I had to get me a partner because my husband, he didn't travel. He didn't. When we started traveling, he stopped dancing altogether because he didn't want to travel. And so they asked me to put together an act, and there was 4 of us, and we traveled with Calloway. We did gigs in Canada and in Washington, D.C. Radio City. Wait, my daughter told me Radio City Music Hall. That was one of the main places that they would. You did at Sullivan when you won the Harvest Moon Ball, and most likely you did Radio City Music Hall. And then there would be other nightclubs like the Latin Quarter and different nightclubs, you know, that would book the dancers. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And so with while you're traveling with Calloway, he hired you to be his seamstress as well, correct?
Somebody told him that I sewed. And so the first day when we got out, you know, he didn't say anything during rehearsals. He waited until we got on the road. So when we first got on in our first city in Canada, he said, "I understand that you can sew a little bit." I said, "I can sew a lot." I said, I'm a dressmaker and a tailor." He said, "Really?" So then he said, "Let me show you." So I went in his dressing room, and he opened up his closet and showed me all these pants with all these great big safety pins in them, holding them together, because he had lost so much weight, and he had his pants pinned up on him, you know, for the stage. So he says, "You think you can do anything with this?" So I said, "Don't worry about it. By the time you get back home, they'll all be fitting you." And that's what I did. On the tour, I fixed all his tails pants and all his tuxedo pants to fit him.
How long were you on tour with Calloway?
Oh, I think it was something maybe like 3 weeks, something like that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we did different cities in Canada, and we finished up at Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C.
Okay. And that was in the 80s, you said?
Yes, that was 1980. Yeah.
So that was in the 80s. And obviously, before COVID, you and Barbara were traveling around the world, going to different swing events. In between that time, was there ever a time you weren't performing or dancing?
Oh, yeah. Like there was 5 years straight. I didn't do anything. And then one day, my girlfriend called me. She's a professor, Sally Summers. She called me and she says, "I want you to speak to someone that's here at my house." So I said, "Okay." So she put this gentleman on the phone, and he says, my name is Terry Monahan, and I'm from London. I said, oh, really? And he says, I would like to come up and interview you, because I was living then in Connecticut. So so we set up a day, and he came up on a Sunday. He came up early in the morning, and when he left there, it was like midnight. He stayed all day long. We were talking all day long. And out of that, he booked me to come to London. So, because he had a dance festival every year. And so I went to London, and I was teaching classes and in his shows, in his at his dance festival. And I did that for some years, and I taught his dancers the jive and Lindy Hoppers. And they would come to New York to take lessons from my husband and I. And my husband then lived in Florida, and I was still in New York, in Connecticut. So we would, they would pick me up, and we would drive down to Florida, and they would take lessons with my ex-husband and I, and for about a week. And then they would go back to London. And every time they got a new dancer in their group, the Jive and Lindy Hoppers, they would come to New York and take lessons from us, so that that particular dancer could get the feel of how we dance. And that's the way they dance, because they danced really Savoy Lindy.
Okay, so you're the one that taught them the Savoy Lindy.
My husband and I, George Sullivan and I, yes.
Okay. I'm a little jealous of that, but we'll just move on from there. And
they
around
were
what?
Lindy Hoppers. They were Lindy Hoppers. They were very good, very close. They did it. They got it. They got it. They really did. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
They were
Around
very
what?
good. They are
around
very
what year
good.
was it? And do you remember around what year Terry found you?
That was like the 19 then, when we first started, I think. Yeah.
Okay. So probably around the start of what most of us have been taught is kind of like the revival of swing. So it's probably around that time where swing dance became trying to get more and more popular. And so we do have some questions.
Well, it had been going on, and I didn't even know about it until
Really?
until I went to London. I didn't even know people was Lindy hopping. You know, I was shocked when I went to London to see all these Lindy Hoppers. I was really shocked. I didn't even know it was being danced that much, but it had been danced, because the Swedes in Sweden, they had come to New York, to Harlem, to find someone to teach Lindy Hop in the 80s. Because they had Marmalou Parks that went to London to teach them, and then they had Al Mims, and then they got Frankie Manning. He had quit his job in the post office to go back to dancing. So they had been looking for it since the 80s, you know, and I didn't even know it, because like I thought that we were the only ones doing Lindy Hop, because when we did our gigs with Sonny Allen and the Rockets, we ended all our shows with Lindy Hop. And we thought I thought that we were the only ones that had been doing Lindy Hop. And after we stopped, I figured, well, nobody else doing Lindy Hop. And come to find out that they had started in the 80s. Yeah.
How do you feel that this dance that you say you thought was just pretty much Sonny and the Rockettes, how does it feel seeing that it's been grown to this worldwide phenomenon that Lindy Hop is being taught all around the world nowadays?
I'm thrilled. I am thrilled. I'm so happy to know that somebody kept it alive, you know? They brought it back, and now it's everywhere. And I'm very thrilled about that. I don't care what style it is, as long as they're doing the Lindy, it's fine. I love it.
Awesome. And even till before COVID, you were still traveling around the world, you know, dancing and performing and giving interviews. So we're all very thankful that, you know, you as well have kept this dance alive and been able to share all your experiences there.
Yeah, COVID made me, I had to cancel some things this year because of COVID. Yeah, COVID-19. I had to cancel some things that was already booked, you know, in different places. Yeah. So I'll be happy to get back to that when we can, you know.
I think we all will.
Yeah.
Well, I think that was a great overview, definitely a simplification, but overview of your 70-long career as a dancer. I'm glad that you got a 5-year break in there, but you got right back to it. But we have some questions that were sent in through the community that kind of are more specific. So I would hope that we can just get your opinion on some of these.
Okay.
So,
COVID-19 did me a dirty deal because I had my 90th birthday this year, and COVID-19 is like took that away from me, you know. But all my dancers, they came through. Yes, you did. They called me. I had calls from all over the world. I was so happy. I was so happy. I had calls from all my dancers, you know, and it was so great. It was so great. They had me in tears.
I'm sure we'll make up for it once we can all get together again. We'll celebrate your 90th birthday.
Oh yeah, I'll celebrate it at any time. Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, so I guess just a general question: who were your role models when it came to dancing?
Well, my role models, I didn't have too many women role models. They were mostly guys, you know, like Blue Outlaw and Candy Carter. They had won the Harvest Moon Ball the years that I had first come to the Savoy. They had just won the Harvest Moon Ball, and they started teaching me. And I used to watch a girl called, her name was Esther Washington, and she was with Frankie. She danced with Frankie and them, and I loved the way she danced because she had a lot of footwork, you know. She didn't just run out and run into her partner. She did a little tricky little steps, and that's what I used to try to do myself. Find some little tricky little things to do, steps to do with my feet, and I like doing that instead of just running out from my partner and running back into my partner. I like tricky footwork. So that was my role models, and then when I got to the Savoy, Frankie Manning and Leon James and Al Mims, they would come up sometimes on a Monday night if they were in town, and we all, the girls, we would try to get to dance with them. And I loved dancing with Frankie Manning and Al Mims. And then in 1982, I got a chance to be Al Mims' dancing partner, which was really great. So we were partners for about a year, and then they wanted him to come to Europe, and I had just remarried, and so I was trying to keep my marriage, so I didn't go with him to Europe, and that's how we stopped dancing. But we danced, we did a lot of gigs for about a year there. We were very good together, him and I, Al Mims. It was great dancing with him.
We have a question coming in. Aside from Calloway, were there any other musicians that you grew close to or became friends with?
Became friends with, well, I guess kinda Count Basie. We went to see Count Basie one night, a group of us.
Small flex, but okay.
And they were playing, and we went to see the concert, and we got in the aisles and were dancing, and Count stopped the show, and he said, "I want those dancers on my stage." So we went up on the stage and finished the concert dancing to Count Basie. And anywhere that he would play, and we knew of it, and we could get there, we went to see him play, and we would dance to him. Yeah, we love dancing to Count Basie.
I appreciate you being so humble with while making everyone extremely jealous just now. Where was I at?
You asked me, you mentioned something about the difference between Duke Ellington and Count Basie dancing to them. You asked me something like that.
Yeah, let me pull up the specific question. I guess, did you work with both Count Basie and Duke Ellington?
No, not really. I didn't work with Duke Ellington, no.
Okay. Oh, here's the question. I guess you can answer this with any of the bands you dance with, but how did the music really affect your style of dancing or how you approach the dance? Like, how did their musicality affect the way you move to it?
Well, they both play beautiful swing music, but Count Basie's music was like, say, more for Lindy Hoppers. You know, he would play for the Lindy Hoppers. And well, Duke was more, I guess, stuck with his thing. You know, he played his music. So it was, and like I had told you that the first time that he played in the Savoy, I was told that they booed him off the stage, and he had to really check his music. And the next time he came, it was great. He was great, yeah. But the first time he was there, they booed him off the stage. The music just wasn't for them, for the Lindy Hoppers. But Count always played for the dancers. You know, he loved to play. You have bands that play for dancers, and then you have bands that play their music. But his was like for the dancers. Count was really for the dancers. His drummer, if he's playing and he see a group dancing and they're doing like aerial steps, so he would try. His drummer would kick those aerial steps that they were doing. You know, they were just that good with dancers. They were Count Basie's band was really for dancers when he played swing.
All right, perfect. I'm trying to imagine today's audience booing off one of the bands at an event, but I can't see it, so it must have been pretty hard for bands back then because they knew how savage the audience was they were playing for. So I'm glad we got nicer, but that's funny to see, imagining Duke getting booed off a stage. All right. So Sugar, as a performer with over 70 years experience, would you like to see anything performance-wise today that you're not seeing, or is there any difference between the performances today as to when you're a performer?
The one thing I would like to see now is more Black dancers. And there's not a lot of Black Lindy Hoppers. You know, it's it's more than it was when I first started going around to the different venues, the different festivals. But that's what I would like to see more of, more Black dancers, you know, because it's really their dance. They started it, and there's not a lot of them, I guess, because maybe like the young people, the parents, don't, you know, some of them don't know of it. Maybe that's the problem. I don't know, you know, but I would like to see more of more Black dancers, you know. When I go to Sweden every year, they have dancers there some from Africa, which is great. And I even met dancers from Madagascar, and that was really great. There was a group there last year. They were great. They put on a performance for us, and it was really great. Where did he go? I lost him. Oh, there you are. You moved on my screen. I was looking for Michael.
Oh, I'm here.
You
I'm here.
disappeared. Yeah.
All right, awesome. But there's a lot of support for what you're saying right now, Sugar, in the comments section. There's...
Any more questions?
Oh yeah. Oh, they're flooding in right now.
Come on with them. Come on.
All right, I'm going.
Come on.
So, do you remember what other bands played at Savoy that you would dance to?
Oh yeah, Erskine Hawkins, Buddy Johnson. Let's see, Lionel Hampton, Cootie Williams. Oh, Panama Francis and Savoy Sultans. I did a lot of gigs with Panama Francis. Let's see, who else can I think of? I said Buddy Johnson, yeah. I can't think of anybody else. Erskine Hawkins. I said Erskine Hawkins. Okay. Yeah. Go to the next question. Yeah. Names have left me. Yeah.
Yeah. If you can think of any more, just yell them out. The
Harlem Blues Jazz Band.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Now we can move on.
Yeah.
So, Sugar, what would you say is your favorite moment from all your years of dancing? / if you could relive one night of dancing, what would it be?
The night I won the Harvest Moon Ball. That's it. And the night I won the Harvest Moon Ball. Oh my gosh. Yes. That was the thrill, I'm telling you. The year before we danced for third prize and we lost. And I cried like a baby. Came in fourth. They didn't give me no prize for fourth. And then the next year, when I won first place, I cried like a baby, but I was smiling from ear to ear. My mother came from out of the audience and she said, "What are you crying for this year? You won. I said, these are tears of happiness. That's what they are. That's what that was. Yes, yeah. It was great. It was really great. Yeah.
So, Sugar, you still, to some degree, at least see a lot of competitions of today's Lindy Hoppers. How would you compare Lindy Hop contests of today as from when you were dancing and competing?
Oh, all of them, everybody worked hard, everybody worked hard and did their best in all of them, so it's, I can't say it's any different, because everybody's always, they want to win. Even when they have the singles and then not couples, even that, sometimes they have the single jazz and the girls are dancing by themselves. Everybody works hard because they want to win, so it's not really any different, really.
So you still see the same kind of winning mentality from back in the day?
Yes, the enthusiasm and the enthusiasm and everything, everybody's really trying their best to win. Yeah.
All right, cool. So the question here, what's your impression of how people teach the dance today and how they try to share their values of dance today?
Well, everybody teaches differently, to me, some teachers, they do more talking than teaching. Teachers supposed to sweat a little bit, not do a lot of talking. right, dancers. Yeah, yeah. So I just feel that everybody teaches their way. I can't down anybody the way they teach, because everybody teaches their own way. So I can't tell anybody how to teach, really. Everybody has their own way of teaching.
Did you have a relationship at all with Mama Lou?
We were great friends.
Awesome.
We did gigs for her sometime because sometimes she would have so much work that she would, her dancers it would be thin for them. And so she would ask us to fill in, and the girls that I danced with, we would do some of the gigs. So that was during the time that they had, what they call them? The girls, when we were dancing, like, when we were dancing in the clubs, Barb and all of us. The go-go girls. When we were go-go girls. And she would have so much work, and that she would call me and she says, Sugar, think you can help us out this weekend? She said, I have gigs in such a place. Also, you know, can some of you girls, can some of them take the gigs? And Barbara and I and another girl named Little Bit, we would take, you know, do some of the gigs for her, you know, when we're doing the go-go days. Yeah, because I was a go-go dancer too. But we did go-go dancing. The three of us would do go-go dancing. The three of us we would book. I would book them in clubs in New York, and we danced together. This was after Sunny. We got away from Sunny for a while because everybody had left us. And I would do gigs. Just Sonny and I did gigs for a long time. If he got a gig and he needed a partner, he would call me, and I would do gigs with Sonny. And then sometimes it was when I needed the two girls, Barbara and Lil Bit, and we would do gigs. Just the three of us, we would dance in nightclubs.
Okay. With what you think Lindy Hop values are and what it means to be a Lindy Hopper, do you think that we are moving these values to the dance to a new generation or in a positive way? Do you think we're holding true to what it means to valuably be a Lindy Hopper?
I think, yes, I think the dancers are very true to it, especially the ones that when they, you know, they've learned the history of it and they want to keep it going, you know. I really think they are really true to Lindy Hop. Yes, yes, quite a few of them. Most of them, all of them, really. Yeah, they love it. They love it. Yes.
Can I ask, what do you value in a Lindy Hopper?
What do I value in a Lindy Hopper?
Yeah. Or like when you see someone dance, what are you looking for?
What am I looking for? Let's say as a partner, maybe?
Sure.
Okay, as a partner, I want someone that's steady, that will come to practice on time, make gigs on time, you know, show a lot of personality when they're dancing, and love the dancing, you know, not just doing it for the money, you know, do it to and create new steps and things like that. I love seeing that when I see these contests and some of these steps that these people do and these routines they do. They're great, you know. They come up with so many different variations of different aerial steps and things like that. You know, sometimes I'm shocked at some of the things that they do, and they're beautiful. They are really beautiful. Yeah, that's what I value.
Okay, awesome. I know when we talked, you said that you were there for the last days of the Savoy Ballroom before it closed, and you said you guys weren't even told that it was closing. You thought it was just going to be renovated.
You know, they told us that they were closing that one and was going to tear it down, and across the street, they were going to build a better Savoy Ballroom. Well, there was none put up anywhere. Where we were, where Savoy was, that became housing, you know, and same thing across the street, there was housing. So they never did build another one. No, that was it.
And
Because after Savoy, when the Savoy closed, there was a ballroom that was across the bridge from Harlem, from 145th Street. It was across the bridge. There was a ballroom called Savoy Manor. And it was in the Bronx. When you cross that bridge, you were in the Bronx from Harlem. You crossed the bridge on 145th Street. And that's where the Savoy Manor was. It was a ballroom where Mama Lou Parks carried the Lindy Hop. And that's where she had the Harvest Moon Ball and that type of dancing over there. And that's where the Lindy went.
Did you ever dance at the Savoy Manor?
Oh yes, mostly every year when Mama Lou had her concert, had her dance, her Harvest Moon Ball, she would invite us, and we would perform in the show. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's see. We're getting close to time, so I don't want to hold you for too long, Sugar.
Okay. And the Savoy Manor, that's where my kids dance in the Harvest Moon Ball. And they went to Madison Square Garden. And that was before the news, before the Daily News let the Harvest Moon Ball go. They would, the dancers would dance at Madison Square Garden. And so my daughter danced at Madison Square Garden and my son. They didn't dance together, they had their own partners, and each one of them won second and third prize before they stopped having the Harvest Moon Ball. And then my son went on to Lindy Hop on roller skates. He, during the 80s, roller skating was so popular in New York. There was a lot of skating rinks, and he took the roller skates and he decided to Lindy Hop on roller skates. So when they have their contests in the rinks, and he would go around to different rinks to roller skate, he would win the contest with his partner because they was doing Lindy Hop and they were doing aerials. They would put aerial steps also. And he's roller skating as of today. Him and his son, my grandson, who is 11, they go roller skating every Saturday night. And they're doing roller skating and they're doing Lindy Hop on roller skates.
Oh, wow. Going back to the Savoy Manor, was it just Lindy Hop or were there other types of social dancing going on?
Yes, because she would have, Mama Lou would have performers in her show. Like I said, we would go to perform, and she would have, I think there was a couple that used to do adagio dancing, and can you think of anything else? Latin. And Latin, yes, yeah, and Latin, yeah.
So they kind of try to get the feel of the original Harlem Savoy Ballroom where they had the
Right, yes, that's
going
what
on.
she did. Yes, it was the Harvest Moon Ball because these was her preliminaries she would hold, and the dancers would go to Madison Square Garden. Yeah, the best of the best. Yeah.
Okay.
And she had little kids. She had them from like maybe 6 years old on up. Yeah, and they would be doing Lindy Hop. Yeah.
Awesome. So, Sugar, in today's dance community, we very much refer to ourselves as like the Lindy Hop community. And with community kind of means that we're not just dance partners, we're also friends after a dance event or before we'll go find something to eat or even just hang out and do non-dance related things to keep this community going. Did you guys do that back in the day?
Oh yeah, we went out to eat. Oh yes, oh yeah, we went and had chicken and waffles at 4 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. Oh yeah. We were family. Oh yeah. It was the Savoy was that was my second family. Okay, that was my second family. I took my kids up there in the daytime when I was practicing. My babies, they were playing on the floor and everything. You know, they loved the Savoy floor, and my son and my daughter would steal the ice cubes out of the ice machine. You know, they think I didn't know that, but they did during the day when I was practicing. Yeah, because we were there like I said, from like 11 to 3 every day. You know, and then at night we would go back to dance. Yeah. So that's what and then after, at nights when we finished dancing, we would sometimes we would go eat in different places. And days when we practice, they would sometimes chip in, come to my house. I put on a pot of food, you know, we chip in and buy the food, I cook, everybody eat, and then they go home, change clothes for the night. Yeah. So that's what we did that too. And then Savoy, I call them my second family. And some of the friends that I had there that's still alive, I have today, you know, like Barbara Billups and Sonny Allen. We're still friends today. There's not many of us left. B, one of the dancers, she danced with James Smith in the Harlem Moon Ball, and she's still alive today. And when I get to Harlem, when I go to New York, sometimes I get a chance to see her or talk to her. And But there's not many. And Cheryl's partner, he's still alive. The one that she danced with in the Harvest Moon Ball. I see Ralph every year. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. And so we're about to come up on time. So I just want to ask one last question, Sugar. So with today's world, with COVID going on as in combination with kind of current events, the Lindy Hop community, while we can't really dance, has really taken a step back to really open up and listen and try to learn more. While we're patiently waiting for the time we can dance again, a lot of us are trying to learn more about the culture that goes into the dance. Once we're able to dance again, what would you like to see for the future of Lindy Hop?
More dancers. You know, a lot of the dancers now, some of them have married their partners, or some of them have married their partners that they've met, you know, especially in Sweden. A lot of them, they've married and they've got kids coming along now. And they bring the babies when they come to teach their lessons, you know. So that's our next generation coming up. We've already got another Lindy generation on coming up, you know. They're on their way. I'm sure Ramona, yes, Ramona, yeah. Yeah, she's clapping, yeah. So they're coming up. We've got another generation on the way.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Sugar.
I see some of my partners. I see Latasha Barnes have joined us. I don't know where she's been all this time. Latasha performed with us at the Apollo Theater. Hi, Latasha. Hi, baby. How are you? So
Awesome,
no more questions? We can
awesome.
do. You have a couple more? Do you have any more questions?
Yeah, we can keep going, Sugar. I just didn't want to keep you past your time, but if you're willing to stay,
I won't let you
think
go
people.
too far. You can ask a couple more.
Yeah, you tell us when you're done. You tell us when you're done. Well,
All right.
I wish I didn't say my final question, but all right, what else we got here? And people, if you want to keep throwing in questions in the comments, go right ahead. Let me see. Oh, can you tell us a bit more about your tap career? Because did you stick with tap dancing? I know that's the first one you did, but did you stick with it once you became a Lindy Hopper?
No, once in a while. Something once now and then things would come up, and someone would ask me something about tap, you know, and one time when I went to Sweden, and they have tap in Sweden, and in the afternoon they would have what they call challenges, and I think the first year or the second year that I went to Sweden, I joined one of the challenges, you know, but I've forgotten my tap. I really have. Yeah, I just love to watch it down. I love to watch tap dancers.
Awesome. I remember we talked earlier about your life as a mambo dancer at the Palladium Ballroom.
Oh, we used to go to Palladium, and they would come to the Savoy when we had our Latin night, because we had Latin night, and we'd have a contest, and the Latin dancers they would come over from Palladium to get in our contests, and when we would go to Palladium, our dancers would get in their contests. But the only time I did Latin was when I had to do it on the stage, you know, when we were doing shows. I didn't like dancing it. I like to watch Latin more than perform it myself. So I would only do it when I had to, you know, but not so much social. But a couple of years ago, I went to a dance here in Miami, and I did more Latin that night than I've done and I think in my whole life, I danced Latin all night that night. I didn't even realize that it was going to be so much Latin, but the music was great because it was a fundraiser for the symphonic orchestra, I think, for Miami, and they had this fundraiser, and it was a great dance. The bar was free. You drank all the champagne you wanted, and the music was great. And I just Latin danced all night that night, you know. But I like watching Latin more than doing it myself. I like to watch.
Were you a blues dancer at all, Sugar? Did you ever
Oh
do
yeah,
blues dancing?
oh yeah, oh yeah. I love blues. Yeah,
Well,
we did a dance. We call it. It's either called the walk or the ballroom. We called it that. We did to blues music in the Savoy. And my husband was great at it, and Big Nick, he was very good at it, and Ronald Hayes, there was a couple of guys was very good at it, and we love to do that. We call the walk.
okay, awesome. Let's see what else. I just saw something. Oh, what are your favorite places to travel to when it comes to dance or dance events?
What is my favorite place to travel to?
Yeah.
I guess, I don't know, maybe, well, I would say I like going to London because they have a few places there that they dance. That's very good. And Sweden, of course. Yeah, those two places.
All right. Very basic one. What's your favorite swing tune?
Jumping at the Woodside by Count Basie. That's it. Oh yeah. Oh yes.
It's her ringtone.
That's my ringtone on my phone.
Awesome. Awesome. Are there any dancers that you admired growing up that people don't know about today?
That they don't know about today.
Or maybe you think deserve more recognition?
No, not really, because a lot of the dancers that I knew, they mention them when I go to the different festivals, you know. So I don't know if there's any that they don't know of. Not really, no.
Okay.
Because that would be like Al Mims, you know, and Leon James, and Lee Moats, Big Nick, and Little Nick. So they're all mentioned when I go to the different festivals. So everybody knew of them, yeah.
What about Buster Brown, your original tap instructor? What was he like?
One year, we had a gig. Sonny had a gig, and I needed a Lindy partner. And Buster Brown was my Lindy partner. And he was on the show as the tap dancer also. So he was my Lindy partner, and at this particular, it was in New York, and he was my Lindy partner, and he was the tap dancer on the show also.
Awesome. What was he like as a teacher?
Great. He was great. Patient, you know. He was a great teacher.
All right, perfect.
Very patient.
Did you have a relationship with Norma Miller at all?
We were friends. Yes, we were. I went to visit Norma a couple of times, and done many people go to Norma's house. Not many people went to Norma's house, but I went up to see Norma a couple of times. And when we were on gigs together, sometimes we roomed together, you know. So Norma was, we were great friends. We were great friends.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
With current Lindy Hop, there's been, in more recent years, there's been more of a push for kind of, yeah, I'll say push for, I guess, follow empowerment nowadays, for follows to being given the chance to express themselves more. What was it like being a follow kind of back when you were a dancer versus what you see today's follows?
I'm not getting that question. I'm not getting that one.
Let me see if I can.
And I'm gonna give you till 9:30. It's 9:21, so we're here till 9:30. Okay.
Sounds good. I'm gonna talk fast then.
There you go.
Carla, could you unmute yourself and ask the question, if you don't mind, if you're able to? I'll give her a second, because she was the one that asked the question.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you, Carla.
Okay, good. I am having some issues with our sound here, so hopefully.
Oh, okay.
Hi.
Okay.
Hello,
Hi, Carla.
Sugar. Good to see you and everybody else. I guess my question was kind of relating to kind of an equality thing where I know that there's been a struggle with followers or females receiving the same kind of support over the years. And I was just wondering if you've noticed a change in that at all.
Oh, followers?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't pay too much attention to that. You know, I heard talk about different things, you know, but I think that's improved. You know, things that I've heard talk about, you know, but things seem to have improved. I think the guys are treating the girls better than they used to. You know, I kind of noticed that in my travels the last year. I think things have improved with that. I think so. I could be wrong, but I don't know. I think so. I think things have improved. Yeah. Latasha, it's good to see you. Ramona, it's so good to see you. I'll be glad when I can see you all in person and give you a hug.
Sugar, are there any stories of Lindy Hop that you have that you would want to be remembered that you don't hear told that often or at all?
Any stories?
Yeah.
I just hope they remember me, period, you know?
That's why we're recording this right now.
I just hope people will remember me, you know?
Or maybe not necessarily about you, Sugar, but maybe just about maybe the history of Lindy Hop, like stuff that you've heard that can maybe give people a better understanding or a new understanding, or just stuff about the history that we haven't heard before that you could share with us so that it can be remembered.
Oh, I can't, can you think of anything, Michelle? I can't, no, not really. You know, like I say, I just hope people remember me, period, you know? It's just great to be remembered, you know? Yeah, be sitting around saying, you remember that chick, Sugar Sullivan, man? She could dance, couldn't she dance? She kicked those legs, you know? Yeah, just remember me when you're sitting around talking, you know?
Awesome.
I'll tell you something. When I was born, my mother wanted to name me Sugar. She wanted Sugar as my first name. And my dad said, that's not a proper name for a birth certificate, you know. So it became my middle name. But all through my life, people have called me Sugar. My name is Ruth, but everybody calls me Sugar. I even had my teachers calling me Sugar, you know. I made sure everybody knew that I was Sugar. So, and she named me after a policeman that had did her a favor. I don't know what the favor was, but that's what my mother told me. So, and it was Sugarfoot. So she knew I was gonna have sweet feet even when I was born. My name was Sugarfoot. And then when I got 16, they took the foot off and just called me Sugar. So how about that for a story, okay? Is that good enough?
I'm not going to argue
I
against
see some people clapping.
Awesome. And I'm sure there's no doubt that we're going to remember you, Sugar. It's going to be a while before your memory gets put away.
Yeah, because I'm going away no time soon, you know, just to let you know, okay?
Oh,
I'm still here for a while, okay?
Oh, totally, absolutely. Sugar, while you were on the road, do you have any particular fond memories or funny memories performing?
Funny, well, it's not a fun, it's fun, but then it's not. The night we opened, and we was outside of Boston, and we had just opened up in this club, and I got a call, and they told me that my mother had had a heart attack. I couldn't believe it because we didn't know anything about my mother having a heart condition. And I had to go on stage after that call. And I performed that night with tears running everywhere. And the next day I came home. But my mother was fine. She had a heart attack, but she got over it. But that night was such to perform through that, you know, and the tears was running, and I'm trying to smile and sing because we were singing. We opened our show with singing, and then we go into a dance, and I had to do this, and it was. I always think about that, you know. I always think about that. And the next morning, I left to come home to see about my mother. Yeah.
We're glad that she was okay after that.
That stayed with me. That was in outside of Boston. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, cool. So closing. Actually, how much of we talk a lot. We had this issue when we discussed it with our last conversation with Crystal Johnson, where we talk so much about you as a competitor and performer. We don't know so much about you as a social dancer. I know you said a little bit before about what you valued in a partner, but how do you view today's social dancing? Like when you look around to see everyone dancing to the music.
How do I? Oh, fine. You know, that's not a problem when I go out dancing here. You know, because the Miami Swing Society, they have dances, you know, that I go to sometimes. They'll call me, and there's a friend of mine named Izzy, and Izzy will pick me up, and I go to the dances, you know, and there's no problem. You know, I have no problem dancing with the dancers here, you know. So,
Awesome.
yeah, there's no problem at all, yeah. Sometime I've done classes here in Miami, and I've done some lectures at the university here, Barry University, and at the library here, I've done lectures.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
So we're coming in at 9:30.
Yes, it's 9:30.
Is there any
Since it's 9:30.
Is there any final message or words of encouragement or advice you want to give to all of us watching right now?
I want to say keep dancing, you know, but dance at home. I know you all are dancing at home. I know that. Because I know my dancers, Ramona and Latasha, I know you all are dancing at home. And some of you others are also dancing at home. Oh, I see somebody else I know here. Roy? Yeah. Hi, Roy. Yeah, I see some of the names I can recognize now.
It's good to see you again, Sugar. I miss you.
Okay, so just all I can tell you is keep dancing, you know.
Awesome.
I'm bad with exercise, but you all dance, okay? I haven't been doing any exercise. I'm truthful. I'm terrible. My daughter stays after me all the time. Yes. Spread the love, and you all stay safe. Stay safe, you know. chase this COVID-19 away. Do what you're supposed to do so it don't catch you, okay? And we're gonna pray it away. It's gonna go. It's got to go. It's got to go. It's been here too long now. It's got to go. But you all stay safe, and I love you all. And thank you very much, Michael.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sugar. We really appreciate it. If everyone could take this time just to unmute themselves and just give their thanks and round of applause to Sugar Sullivan.
Thank you, Miss Sugar. Thank you.
Thank you. Bravo, 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 Sugar.
Thank you, Miss Sugar.
You're welcome. Very welcome.
Thank you so much. Shameless plug or plug right here. Some of the videos that you were discussing of your dancing, of you on the Ed Sullivan Show, or you dancing with Latasha Barnes and Barbara. Me and my partner.
Yeah.
Me and my partner Amanda, a while ago, we put together just a Google Doc of a bunch of videos of historical figures dancing, and today we made our own Sugar Sullivan section.
Oh, good. Good.
So I'll share it in the group here for anyone. Also includes other interviews that Sugar has done. By all means, please listen to what else she has to say. She goes in more detail about some of the stuff we went over tonight, but I highly recommend checking that out. But so once again, thank you so much, Sugar. Really appreciate you being here.
Okay, you're welcome. Very much so.
Kate.